Hey guys, you ready for more de-cel shading? This time we have Cyclops. This one has been, I think, pretty highly anticipated by a lot of people because this version of Cyclops is one of the more popular versions due to the Jim Lee 90s cover, of course. And the original version of this is pretty expensive and an okay figure in comparison to today's standards. And so again, I actually do like cel shading, but there are those that don't. And so I'm gonna just show you that it's pretty doable to remove. So first, let's actually just take a look at the figure itself. All right, so we got Cyclops, and we're just gonna start from the top and work our way down. So immediately we can see that we've got shading on the visor right here. We have shading on the strap right there. And let's see here, moving down, we do have the dark blue shading on just the right arm, and that goes down to the cuff as well. And same with the cuff on the left side. We do have some dark blue shading on the inner arm on the left. We have the tan shading here on the belt down to the crotch area. There's also a bit of shading here and here. It's kind of hard to see. And then obviously the right there, right on the strap is again. Moving down to the thighs, we got it on both sides there. Moving down, you can see pretty much going all the way down the legs. Otherwise, nothing on the hands. He does have additional hands too, but those don't have any shading on them either. And just for a quick side-by-side comparison of the original and the newer one. So the original had the straps fully loose on the body, and the new one is actually molded into the body. So it is, I think, separate in its initial molding off the factory line, and then it's applied to this body. Same with these straps. The ones on the original are notorious for falling down and off and just being loose in general. And then these ones are molded right into the body, just like Morph. And then same with the straps at the shin level. And again, these also have a tendency to just fall down and off. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. So just like the last couple of videos, I have our Winsor & Newton brush cleaner and restorer. And again, we are using this as opposed to acetone, because acetone can too quickly damage your figures if you do use acetone. It's not that it can't be used, but this is better. It's basically a much slower version of acetone, so it'll still remove really well, but it gives you more time to make sure to clean off any additional chemical that's still on your figure. So we have that. We have both types of cotton swabs. So we've got the regular cotton swabs, and then we've got pointed cotton swabs. We've got a bowl of water and then a container to actually pour our chemical into. I also have a brush on hand in case I want to use the brush. In my Mystique video, I did learn that certain body parts are made with a slightly different plastic, and so it was harder to remove. However, on the Morph one, that came off really easily, and because this one is much closer to Morph, I'm expecting this one to be a lot easier to remove. So I believe the colors that you're seeing of the plastic are in fact not painted but molded in that color. So the yellow should be yellow, the blue should be blue, so on and so forth. I think the only exception is going to be the face. I believe the flesh color is actually painted on here, but everything else should be fairly straightforward because the plastic is the color that you see. So I made a mistake. I thought that I had started wiping into this and that this was not color blue, but it is. So don't be too scared if you wipe it off and it turns green. It's actually because I did hit the shading that was also there and didn't realize it. Here you go. So left boot is done. We can compare it to the right boot, and I did all the way up to the lower knee area. And so I'm gonna complete this leg first, and so I need to finish more of the blue shading get the tan, and then finish the blue shading that's here too. And then I'm just gonna work up my way to this leg. So again, we got this tan, and we got that blue, this blue, tan, blue again. Stop to show you real quick. This leg all gone. Looks great. Starting from the bottom, all cel shading has been removed. Nothing on the boots, nothing on the legs, nothing on the calves. And if you didn't see, then I did opt to just wipe the remainder off with my napkin, especially since there was no other paint that it could possibly mix with and remove, because that meant that it was just the chemical on plastic. So I figured it would be totally safe to wipe with a napkin. In other situations, if there was additional paint, then I would be worried that the chemical would still be on the napkin. I could potentially rub off that one. So that's why I'm doing it specifically with Cyclops. That won't necessarily work with every figure. So I do want to be careful because the X is painted on, so I do want to be careful in that area. The belt does move up a little bit, and there's a little bit underneath there that I do want to tackle, so I'm actually going to switch to the pointed one. Alright, so there was a lot of blue shading that I couldn't see before. That was all here and on the side, but you should have seen me remove that already. I have all of it removed from the crotch and most of it from the belt. What's weird is that right here, because I went over that multiple times with the chemical and it just won't remove. So I'm actually going to just try to go over it with a bit of sandpaper to get it off, or maybe even just my nail and just see if I can kind of scratch off the rest of it. Okay, so I'm actually going to just try regular acetone for this last bit on the belt that won't come off. Okay, great. So you can see it came off. So I guess maybe I should have just gone a little bit harder with the chemical since acetone did take it off. Otherwise, acetone worked as a good shortcut to really try to get it out. Great, so let's try to finish up the chest. I'm going to focus on that bit of tan on the yellow. And then there's also some right here on the breast too. And then we should be done with the torso. All right, torso pretty much done. So once I had a chance to look closer at it, I did see that there was more under the breast on both sides, and then even some in the abs. So I just went ahead and used one of the pointed cotton swabs and really got in there and got it all out, and it worked great. So we still have on the arms, so you can see it goes all the way up, and this one actually even continues here and even goes up the neck. So I'm actually going to pop the head off so that I can get that, and then I'll do the whole arm on this side, and then I'll go ahead and do this arm, knock out the head, and then we'll be done. All right, so right arm complete. See all of it removed from that cuff, all from the arm, all the way going up the side, onto the shoulder, onto the neck. It was kind of hard to see, I think, on camera, but you saw the cotton swabs and how blue that they became during the removal. So if and when you try this yourself, you'll see how much there really is to remove. So trust me, it's there. All right, let's finish up the other arm. There wasn't a lot to do on that arm, but that arm is now done. Okay, so now that the body is done, all we have left to take a look at is our head. So, like I showed you before, the head, the only thing we have to worry about is the shading that's right on this side. And I believe the way that this one is working is that I'm pretty sure that the visor is actually a separate piece that's then fused onto the head, and that this yellow is in fact yellow, not just painted yellow. So I'm pretty sure that the tan that's covering this yellow that's part of the visor should just come off, and then we'll just see yellow plastic left over. I believe that the only other paint that's on this head is the flesh, so we do want to be somewhat careful there. It shouldn't be too bad. here's our head again with the cel shading removed. That really wasn't as bad at all. So let's put it back together and check out our Cyclops. And here we have de-cel shaded Cyclops. This was easy. This is great. This was as easy as Morph. I don't think it was any harder or any more difficult. They each had their own kind of issues, but overall, super doable. So if you're looking for a Jim Lee Cyclops and you're not wanting to pay the prices of the Love Triangle pack, or maybe you don't want the jacketed one, or you don't want to pay the prices of the original one that looks like this one, then this is the one to get. And if you don't like the cel shading, then watch the video and you can do it yourself. I'm really happy with how this came out. I think it looks great. And if you want to see what I learned in my other de-cel shading videos, then please check out my last one here.